So, good evening, everyone. Today we are here with Nolus Protocol. I'm very glad you enjoy us today in the evening of Friday on the end of the week. Everyone is tired, but we are here. I'm very glad you've joined us. I started recording. Here I see 16 people. That's very perfect. So, hi, Ivan. How are you doing?
Um, Hi everybody. It's great to be here, and it's for me personally. It's 8 p.m. The end of the week, so happy to see that so much people on the space. I just want to say hi to Mitya. We know each other quite well, so I'm glad that you're here, and we can talk for what we've been cooking on with Nolus and Rob. So, Puff, how do you prefer we should go forward? Probably I can tell something about
Uh,
myself. A couple
uh,
of words. I think that's
uh,
the best thing to do here.
so you can just speak 1 minute. I will do some notes after that translate. I think it will be the best
Okay,
way
okay,
how to do
great,
it. So please introduce
great. Okay.
yourself. Who are you and how you get to internals?
Yeah, well, actually, I have a more than 20 plus years in ex work professional experience in digital marketing, and for the last 6, probably 8 years, I've been working in a big fintech group in Web2. And at some point, a lot of my colleagues back then and my colleagues today, we kind of fell in love into crypto. It was the early to 2016. And we then had the opportunity to work for one of the major centralized crypto businesses, and that kind of created a even further dropped us in the rabbit hole. And at some point, we started thinking of what are the inefficiencies, so what can we do to solve some of them in that are currently available in crypto. And this is how actually Novus came to be. Since we have a lot of background in fintech, we've done a couple of startups that are in some way connected with lending. It was just the most natural thing for us to start a lending like product, and this is how Nolus came to be. Yeah, well, a couple of things about Nolus when what it actually does and solves as a problem in currently in crypto. Um, I'm I am one of the product development lead at Nolus, so apologies if I go a little too technical. I'll try to keep everything uh, as transparent and easy to understand as possible. That's why I'm not going to go and try to promote all the bells and whistles and the advantages that Nolus has in comparison with other crypto money markets. But just to get the sense of what Nolus does is, I just want to ask you how many of you know what leasing means? Have you ever encountered, let's say, an option to buy something on lease?
So I have asked them about leasing, and let's see something
Yeah.
we're writing right now in the chat. Maybe he will explain his idea. Oh no.
Yeah,
So just go on.
okay. Bear in mind that I understand almost everything you're saying. So
Yeah,
I just cannot speak Russian, but I can understand it.
that's perfect.
But to summarize, what leasing does is actually it provides the opportunity for one to buy, let's say, a household or to buy a certain vehicle or other type of asset while only providing a fraction of the cost up front. And when he becomes a lessee in such a deal, he can actually enjoy uh, his purchase, and until not until, but while he's repaying his loan, because he's actually taking a loan. And the same principle applies on Nolus, where one can actually purchase a digital asset while paying a small portion of the asset up front. For the sake of the example, let's say Ivan here is wants to be long on Atom. I mean, he knows that the price will appreciate in for Atom in time, so that's why he wants to have a bigger exposure than his current equity or the amount he's willing to risk for this type of investment.
And how can I get more Atom in that case? Please explain us.
That's exactly where Nolus steps in. You provide some sort of a down payment or a collateral, which will guarantee that you will repay your debt uh, in time, and you can get from Nolus up to 3 times the amount of your provided collateral.
What does it mean? I can get 3 times your last what you've told us.
For the sake of the example,
Yeah.
you have the money to buy 10 atoms, or you want to you are willing to risk the amount of 10 atoms at its current price. With Nolus, you can make those 10 this investment of 10 atoms, you can make them up to 25 atoms.
Can you please show us or just
Of
explain
course, of course, I
how
will. I will, I will, I
how
will.
it works?
Let's see how I can share my screen and hopefully everything works as expected. Can you see my screen?
So let's do it without presentation because it's very interesting what you're telling. We don't want to stop you. Let's try without
Okay,
it
some
somehow.
people are probably can see my screen, so I'll try to go through the screens and explain everything while going through the protocol itself. So, like I gave an example with Adam. Let's say this time I will try with, for example, Neutron. I'll pick my down payment or the collateral I'm willing to provide. And let's say for the sake of the example, I'll be providing $100 USDC tokens, and I want to go, I want to buy leverage, I want to buy Neutron token. So what actually Nolus will do is that it will provide me a loan that is $150 on top of the $100 that I'm willing to invest in the NTRN token. But the interesting thing is that if I go with this loan, I will trigger a liquidation, meaning that if the price of Neutron drops significantly, of course I will have to repay some of the borrowed funds in order for the system to not get into a bad debt, meaning that it will have its full borrowed amount uh, returned if, let's say, the NTRN token loses its value. Yeah, here the interesting thing here is that my liquidation trigger currently is if the price of NTRN drops in value with 33%. But one of the innovative things of Nolus is that, for example, for any other lending protocol or margin leverage protocol, when the certain liquidation threshold is reached, the whole position is closed, meaning that the user actually loses all of its collateral, which is not the case with Nolus because Nolus is designed to work in a way that only the position will only be partially liquidated, meaning users are much more safer compared to any other alternative currently available on the market.
If that correct, but if you liquidate it in Nolus, you will lose not all your money, just part of your or your assets.
Exactly. The whole point here is to return your position to a healthy level where you still have a chance to, if the price, let's say, flips and starts gaining traction and in the upwards trend, then you still can make money and not lose all of your investment which you've provided as collateral. The other thing that is quite unique about Nolus is the interest rates that Nolus charges for lending money to borrowers. Just for the sake of the example, most of the leverage protocols, margin protocols, or just lending protocols have a variable interest rate, meaning that when their utilization levels are high, the interest rate that borrowers pay is also quite high. It can get more than 20%. For leverage protocols, 20% APR is kind of the norm, but it can go a lot more. For the sake of the example, when Bitcoin was going through the roof in the uptrend in this cycle, we saw that perpetuals on Binance for Bitcoin were going like more than 120% annualized in interest to those that want to leverage along their positions.
And one more time, please repeat about Bitcoin's example, the
Yeah,
situation. I
well,
missed it.
the when the price was going through the roof, everyone were going long, leverage long on Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
and the actual annual percentage interest that Binance was charging users was
Mm-hmm.
more than 100%, 100 and 120 up to 120%.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of Nolus, in our current position that we want to open in NTRN, the lease interest will be fixed to 1% monthly, meaning that it will be 12% on a yearly basis. Yeah, okay. So I won't be open this position now because I already have some opened. And what is actually happening that I have already opened two positions, one in NTRN, I have one in Osmosis open. So I'm currently looking at my positions and I'm patiently waiting for the price to appreciate so I can close them and take my profit. The one of the other unique features of Nolus is, for example, most of the perpetual products available or other type of lending solutions, they either work on a model that provides you much less compared to what you provide as collateral, or they kind of only lock the collateral and they work on a something that is called an Oracle based model where you don't actually have any asset underneath in any position, but rather speculate only on the price change. If we go back to the example with Binance, when one uses perpetuals on Binance, he actually has no underlying asset in any position that he opens. He only has a contractual obligation with Binance that Binance will lend him money, and for the landed money, he'll provide a certain amount of collateral. Yes, but there are
Uh-huh.
no underlying assets in those positions in Binance, and people cannot do anything rather than just speculating on the price. Where on Novus, just for the sake of the example, I currently have one open position which has 141 NTRN tokens available in my position. Those are real tokens. They are on the NTRN blockchain and they're available to me for certain whitelisted strategies. And for the sake of the example, we're currently working on some integration with third-party protocols, like let's say Mars, where the users will be able to lend their leverage tokens, meaning those for 140 NTRN tokens, to be provided as liquidity on Mars and gain uh, extra APRs, passive income on top of their already leveraged NTRN tokens.
Oh, that's very perfect. That's good news to hear.
Let's have the same example with the Atom. Um, we all know what liquid staking is. I won't go into detail. Mitty can actually talk more about liquid staking derivatives. He's the specialist here. But let's say I own some D atoms and those D atoms are passively gaining me income, which I believe currently something around 15%, because this is how much this is the rate of inflation that currently Atom is producing. I can use those D atoms to open a lease position on Nolus and have 3 times the exposure with Nolus, and use my assets in the position to, let's say, provide them as liquidity on Mars. So if we do the numbers now, I have let's say for 10, I've bought for $10 the atom, which I've made them 25, and they're gaining me 15% out of the atom staking rewards. And from those 25 atoms, I'm also gaining, let's say, 2 to 5, maybe more percent passive income from lending them on Mars, which in total should be something, let's say, for the sake of the example, 20%. I have 20% passive income on the $25 that I've invested, but I've only paid for $10. I've only paid $10 for all of this. And my interest on Nolus is fixed at 1% monthly, or let's say 12% annually, which in other words mean that I've created a self-repaying position on Nolus and have tripled my exposure at the same time. Yes, so I kind of created a strategy that not only repays my loan on Nolus, but I'm also gaining 8% on an annualized basis on my whole position. But the best thing is that my debt in Nolus stays fixed, as I have to return the exact amount of money that I've borrowed, because all the loans that Nolus provides are denominated in USDC. So let's say, for the sake of the example again, the price of Atom skyrockets in, let's say, 2 weeks from now. It goes double from the current levels, the levels that I've opened my lease position in the Atom. In this scenario, I'm not only having passive income on my position, the whole position, but I also have my gains, because my loan being paid out in USDC, it doesn't change. So for the sake of the example, if I open the position with 20 DRM at the price of $5, and after 2 months the price goes to $10 for those 20 DRMs, this means that the price has doubled in comparison to its dollar value. So in this scenario, I keep all the profits while retain the same amount of debt that I incurred when opening my position, and in all this time I've had some passive income and created a quite a, I would say, a um, uh, difficult to execute strategy for a person who hasn't been into DeFi and has not a lot of experience in DeFi.
So you will get back 20 diatom, or if price doubled that month, you will get back only the same value in USDC. Can you repeat this idea? That's very important.
Yeah, let's go. I'll try to explain it with numbers. For example, I have a lease with 20 dirhams, for which I've paid, which were at the price of $5 per atom. So my initial investment in opening the lease was the dollar value of 7 atoms, meaning $35. So, but when I open the position, I have 20 atoms, which is of which, if we look at it at the rate of $5, it should be $100. So if the price, and my debt is, just for the sake of the example, my debt at this point is $30, let's say. just for the sake of the example. If the price of Atom goes twofold, my position denominated in dollars will be 200, and I will only have to pay $30 as this is the amount I have in debt to Nolus, meaning that the other $170 will be pure profit for me. I'm not sure how relevant they are, but the whole point is just to kind of showcase how the protocol works.
How you follow the frequency of coins that people not to ban the DEX breaches? So it will be better for you to translate it into English if you have translator opened.
Which one is the question?
What was last
The
one?
last one?
Last one.
Okay,
This white dog
yeah.
on
Give me a second, please.
Sure. So I think it's a question about security that money get to your protocol are clear and without any problems.
You're kind of referring to the ML framework. As far as I'm aware, it's not it's still not enabled for DeFi. I mean, it's practically there are some talks about regulating DeFi, but I don't know how regulators are gonna do it. In Europe, just for the sake of the example, there should be a framework at some point, but I think that most it will be regulated on a higher level, meaning that just for the sake of the example, the ones that are going to be restricted are going to be the wallet providers, where our dApps are fully decentralized and they work with the third-party wallets. So everyone that wants to use it will kind of have the restriction on its wallet on top. Again, this is a speculation. I cannot confirm with 100%. I'm just shooting blanks. Nobody actually knows what will follow in terms of regulations. I don't know how DEXs will be regulated. However, in terms of what I've heard for Europe or the European Union, there will be a cap for trades that cannot be bigger than 7K in USDC if there is no AML procedure or KYC procedure done prior.
But here was a question about the dirty tokens. I think you see that question in the chat.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
but,
I'm
but
seeing. Well, nobody can actually tell whether one token is dirty or not if it went through a mixer or there is no trace or it went through a, let's say, some private blockchain and got clean there. But from what I can tell is that we try to focus on liquid markets and projects and protocols that have coins that have actual value and are traded from top tier and vetted and traded from top tier exchanges.
so I think we can.
If you ask me, yeah, sorry, I just want to add here. If you ask me, all those meme tokens that are currently traded on Solana are not actually clean tokens. They're all made of thin air and have no value at all. But in the end of the day, people are buying them and have a lot of hype around them and a lot of interest around them. This is not something that we kind of perceive in the foreseeable or in the longer term future that is going to be viable, and we don't want to expose users of Nolus to this type of risks.
So I don't want to lose interest of our audience. I think we can go up. You've give us some examples. I think we can somehow present it after that in the text form. But right now, let's talk about your future. What kind of plans do you have?
I'm very glad that Mika is actually here because we've been working on integration of the Atom to be provided on Nolus as an option to lease for users, and it's just around the corner. So this is one of the first things that uh, I want to say to all of this community here that. It's just a matter of days prior of having the Atom as an option to lease. So let me add here, when we were talking about the example with the lease that I gave is actually people were making profits when the price appreciates of the Atom. What we're currently working on, and it's just around the corner as well, is to have a strategy that is opposite on the price appreciating. Just for the sake of the example, when we'll give the option for people to leverage short or in the other way, or to make money when the price depreciates as well. For example, if you think that in a certain situation where we are in the top of the bull market and everything is kind of going through the roof in terms of prices and there's no more room to grow and people are certain that there is from here on it will be downwards only. Hopefully it never happens again, but this is how markets work. You will have people will have the option to also bet against the price appreciation and again make the same amount of profits on the other way around. This is something that it's also will be available for all the assets that Mitya already shared once we make this feature live in the protocol.
What other plans have Nolus in future? Maybe nearest future? Because you have,
We're also working. Yeah, sorry.
I've also opened
Uh,
your page and I see that you have some kind of swap on your application on
yes,
web.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. A functionality that it's there because we kind of thought that it will be a convenience for users not to change interfaces while trying to swap assets because Nolus is by design is made to work with different blockchains or different decentralized exchanges. We are currently integrated with Astroport on Neutron, with Osmosis on the other hand, and the list will go further when Nolus matures as a protocol. But what we are currently working, and it's again is going to be something that we're going to ship by the end of the year, is a brand new UI for the Nolus app, which is, in my personal opinion, I've been playing with a lot of DeFi projects in from 2016 to up until today, and the UX that we're currently working on is unbelievable, and I'm pretty much honest about it. I haven't seen so polished and so Web2 looking interface as the one we're currently working on.
What is UX actually is, because I didn't heard nothing about UX.
User experience and user interfaces. User experience is the way people interact with certain applications or certain websites. It's called their user experience. In my opinion, it's already something that it's has the level of scientific study, and it's something that a lot of I would say, Web2 companies and the big companies invest a lot so that can make their products more accessible for users.
Your designers are really good because I love design of your site. How looks your video on YouTube? You did it with high quality. That's very cool. What are your future plans? Maybe something nearby. Yeah, you're writing
We have
here
a
in the
lot
chat.
of we have a quite an extensive roadmap internal that we are following from day one, and all the things that we want to work on are already I would say whitelisted as features in our white paper. But just to outline a few, we are currently working on some exploring some opportunities to scale Nolus outside of Cosmos as well, and to scale it to some EVM blockchains. That and by scaling, I mean the whole functionality without sacrificing any of its security properties or its decentralization. because Nolus actually lives on its own blockchain, and which has its ups, of course, has its pros, but also has its cons.
Can you add some information about Nolus token? Because I see that price to Nolus token is rather low. Maybe it's a good opportunity to invest money to it.
I am not a financial advisor. I cannot tell people whether the price is good or not, but we have some upcoming utilities for the NOS token that will be great. They're also outlined in our white paper. It's something we call the tier incentive program that will actually provide additional benefits for NOS takers. So, for the sake of the example, if you want to lease a certain asset on the Nolus protocol and you have staked a certain amount of staked NOS, you will have better interest rates compared to others.
So, do you have some problems maybe you're trying to solve right now? Maybe you have lack of finance because I see that you have blocked liquidity for 2 millions. And if you have some problems, how are you working with that? And what you're trying to do to solve it?
Since we're utilizing very experimental technology, meaning we are kind of probably the first protocol to be 100% reliable on IBC. We had some hiccups with this technology in the beginning that caused some downtime for the protocol, but uh, these are things that we with the help of the IBC team we've managed to resolve and to move forward. Was one of the probably the most critical moment for us by far. Um, I won't get into very much into technical details, but I just want to add here that there is a crucial technological component that was developed by the Neutron team, and without it, we were not going to be able to implement Nolus as the way it is today. In terms of liquidity, I guess it's something that it's cursing every money market when the markets are low and there is not a lot of interest for people to get into additional debt, and they are uncertain whether the price will go up and down, and there is a lot of stale liquidity on such money markets. We try to cap this type of behavior and have a parameter that does not allow new deposits to enter the ecosystem if a certain thresholds aren't met, which kind of tries to create a balance between every time there between lenders and borrowers, but uh, when the markets get volatile, unfortunately, there are people that get liquidated, and a lot of funds from lenders sit stale.
So I want to tell you about expedition collections. We have like 800 unique holders in our collection, and you've told us how we can use your protocol to ourselves. So it's a big opportunity to use it in DeFi. I will show your example you've told us about in our activity chat. I think people after that will read it and understand how it works. But also maybe you have some task to us we can do to help Nolus to grow up.
I'm always telling one thing to in such spaces and Discord lives that the way things happen normally, and from my past experience, is that when one creates a product, he needs to listen to the users of the product or the clients, whatever they we call them. Um, so I always encourage people that come and use Nolus to give their feedback. We have a special channel on Discord. It's called Suggestions. And every user that finds something that he does not like or thinks that it can be improved, he can drop us a line there. we read every single one suggestion and we take it into consideration and we iterate on that. And from there on, we just make a better product because it. The thing is that the protocols and the products should not be made for from businesses to a certain group of people that kind of envision what their product should be, but rather they should be focused to the users that are actually using them. And we truly believe this is the way to go forward. And this new web application interface that I was talking earlier is 100%. Those changes are driven by the user's feedback that we've collected by far.
So Ivan, do you have some other idea you want to share with us?
Yes, please come join our Discord server. If you have any questions, you can find me there anytime. And if you do, please don't forget to write in the general chat or in with or in any channel to be precise that you are an expedition hodler and you will get the expedition badge on the Nolus Discord as well.
Ivan, thank you very much. That was very kind of you to add a way to get us some kind of role in your Discord. I appreciate you coming. It was very interesting. Uh, Here was a lot of information, but I'm recording it. I will cut. You will receive your English version. You can use somewhere, and I think it was very perfect. So you have your last words to say, and that's it.
Thank you for having me, guys, and thank you for being here. Having in mind that it's Friday, it's in the middle of the summer. Probably people have a lot more better things to do than listening to me. But again, from my heart, thank you for being here on this space, and I hope we can chat further at some point. Feel free to reach me out on our Discord server. And Mitya, thank you for dropping in. It was a pleasure as always.
Ivan, it was our first meeting. I hope we will do some more cool shit together. It was very fun. I hope people will watch that reply or read about Nolus in the text form, will join you, will try your product. It's very interesting and will open some doors how to get more money in cryptocurrencies. Thank you so much for coming.
Likewise, Ivan, it was a really pleasure for me as well. Don't forget to send me a photo with your DeFi list t-shirt.
Yeah, thank you. I've already posted in my Twitter, and guys, I got a T-shirt from Nolus. It was unexpected. They asked me for my address. I sent it. I thought it was scam, but I received T-shirt. That was very nice of you. I appreciate it.
You're
Actually,
welcome, mate.
so thank you so much for coming, Mitya, Ivan. Pleasure to see you. Have a good one. Take your time today this evening. Maybe take some beer to relax. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye, everybody. Cheers.